Good morning, everyone. It's Kay Kaltoff, and we're going to do a Stampin' Chat with Kay. Yay! Drinking my coffee. I thought I'd get a sunny cup out because it's going to be sunny all day today in Minnesota, or at least where I live. In fact, it's so nice outside. We could literally go golfing, which I would like to do, but I don't think we're going to. It's kind of an exciting day in Stampin' Up! Because we are starting our on-stage celebration, not actually in Salt Lake City like originally planned, but at home, staying safe from the coronavirus. And so I will be getting together in a special group that I've set up with my downline members who are going to on-stage at home, and I'm really looking forward to it. Today started a little discombobulated because I had an entirely different project planned, but I couldn't find the stamp set. So I had to do a quick pivot, which worked out great because I actually was planning on sharing this card next week. And so I just switched up the days, and hopefully I'll find my stamp set that I was going to use sometime soon, but I don't know because I won't be in town this weekend. Or I mean, I will be in town this weekend, so I won't be running around where I may have left it. So we have cards to share. I got some really fun Halloween cards in my mailbox, and I also have some swap cards to share. A couple from my downline and a couple from another swap that I'm in where we did a Kirby Celebrations bundle swap, so I'll share those as well. Good morning. It's great to have you here. Oh, look at all of you. You are so awesome. Thank you for joining me. Now, the giveaway, because I always do a giveaway with these little Facebook Lives, and I have an extra pack of the Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper, and that's a 6x6 pack. It actually coordinates gorgeously with the In the Pines bundle. So, even though I'm not using that in my card today, the paper I do think it works well with that particular bundle, and so that will be a giveaway, and I will divide up the pack and give it away to 2 people. So you'll get a half pack and the card that we're making today, which is pretty exciting. So do I need to share anything else right at this second? I think I can start digging into the mailbox file. So the first card I want to share with you is from one of our watchers. So thank you so much, Linda Hind. She is from Wisconsin, and she sent me the cutest Halloween card. It has a fair amount of Stampin' Up! Stuff on it, maybe all of it, I don't know. But I'll share it with you, and it's so cute. And I don't know how she even did this, but she embossed this like spiderweb embossing folder. Yeah, I don't know. It's really cute. So I'm going to hold it up really close to the camera so you guys can see it, because it's one of those that you have to almost see in person to truly appreciate how gorgeous it is. But it looks like this. Do you love it? I think you do. Oh, isn't it great? So I'm going to hold it up even a little bit closer and try to wiggle it a little bit in the light so you can see that she even did some embossing underneath the web. Oh my Lord, look at that! Linda, you are so talented. I don't think I've ever done anything like that. It looks really cool. All right, and the next card I got in the mail, this one is from one of my customers. So thank you so much, Elaine Wheeler. So many of you already know about Elaine because she always sends me cards for the holidays, and I'm so appreciative. So this one uses a sponged background, another Halloween set with the black kitty, or the black kitty punch out. And she sponged the background of the pumpkin pie card with pumpkin pie ink to kind of make a really kind of spooky looking background. And then she added some glitter and she added some paper, and oh my gosh, it's just so cute. This is one of those cards that you could really make multiples of because it is one of those cards that could be done fairly quickly. It's got some punch outs and some die cuts, but how fun is that? So thank you so much, Elaine. I love it. So these will go on display. And then I want to share a couple of cards that I have received from downline members who participate in swapping. And the first one uses Cherish the Season Bundle. Now, when you see this, you're probably going to be like me and go, well, what stamp set is that? Because look at this card. It's so cool. So what she did is she took her Stamparatus and she stamped that bells. There's a little collage of bells. She stamped that 4 times, just moving the paper around and around on her Stamparatus. So this is the talented Mary Alice Bellis that created this card for our demo meeting swap last month. And I love it. And then such easy coloring. She just colored the little line through the bells to make it look like ribbon holding them all together. And then she used the Season Designer Series paper as a base at the bottom and the sheer real red paper to tie on that little bell. It's just adorable. So thank you, Mary Alice. And then another card from a downline member. This one is using the Peaceful Nativity from Lisa Miltakis. She's a demonstrator right here in my local area. Isn't it cute? So this is, again, the Peaceful Nativity bundle. And she has copper or gold in the little nativity scene there. It's just beautiful. And then some really pretty ribbon just kind of draped in the back. That's kind of a trendy thing to do right now for those of you looking for doing something different with your ribbon. Yes, awesome cards. I agree. All right, and then I have a couple of swaps to share with you. This one uses the Curvy Christmas stamp set with the curvy dies. And it's a swap I got in the mail from a group of demonstrators that I swap with, so thought you would want to see this one. So pretty, isn't it? Just easy. Little bit of, I mean, this isn't even colored. This is just stamped. And then, of course, the ribbon is colored, but it's really nice. And this one uses the stamp set I can't find. This is what I was gonna do a card today using the Curvy Celebration stamp set. Well, the bundle, as a matter of fact, and I can't find it. It's nowhere in my house. I've looked. I even looked in the storage room. I looked in my eBay sales area. I looked everywhere. I couldn't find it. So I must have left it somewhere over the weekend. But here it is. So this one is a celebration card. Hello, hooray for you, hooray for you, hooray for you. And there's some little stars and it's just cute. So this is that Magenta Madness at the top. And then just some really bright and pretty colors to celebrate that day. Could be a birthday card, could be a celebration card, but it's really cute. All right, then that's the cards I needed to share with you. Then this is what we're making today. So for those of you tuning in, here it is. We're gonna do this. It's so pretty. So I will flip the camera down and we'll go ahead and get started. So just give me a second here. All right, so let me share with you first, before we get into this card, is I'm actually doing an In the Pines card kit. This is going to be sent out at the end of the month, and the sign-up time is through the 15th of November. So I've been doing these kits now for several months. They've become very popular. And if you haven't tried one yet, I encourage you to try it. So the basic kit is $50, does not include the bundle, but includes the setups for 8 cards, 4 different designs. You can add on just the stamp set, which is called In the Pines, and that would be $75. You could add on just the dies, that's $90, or you can add on the whole bundle for $110. And there's a lot of little extras included. Of course, for these prices, you know there's extras. And if you want to get just the PDF with the video links, it's $10. So I encourage you, if you're interested in getting the bundle, and in fact, I even have a card to show you. One of the cards in your kit will be this one here. So if you're interested in learning about how to get this Stamping to Share card kit to go, please visit my blog at www.stampingtoshare.com And I have everything there, all the information about the kits, what's included in the kits, and how the kits are paid for, and how you can reach me to order a kit. Again, the deadline for that is November 15th. Okay, so let's go ahead and make this card. So the first thing we're going to need, let me get this out of the way, is our card base. So our card base is Pear Pizzazz, which is a beautiful contrast to the Mossy Meadow and to the Night of Navy that we're also using on this card. 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. Basically your basic sheet of cardstock cut in half and folded in half. So let me go ahead and use my bone folder to get this nice and flat. The next thing we're going to do is a little bit of stamping. So I am going to be using, the only stamping we're doing is the sentiment, and then a little bit of stamping on the inside of the card. And then we are also going to stamp on our Stampin' Up! Envelopes. I recommend that you use the Very Vanilla with this card because the ribbon that we're using has a very vanilla base. So we are going to, let's see, where is my Stampin' mat? Here it is. Just going to put this out here. So the first thing we're going to do is ink up these trees. And we're going to stamp that right here on the outside of our envelopes. Just in the lower left-hand corner where it doesn't get in the way of anything. And then we don't want them floating in outer space, so there's a little bit of ground action that we can stamp right over them, or right under them, I should say, to make them look nice and settled, like they're actually sitting in the woods and not flying into outer space. So we'll just do that real quick. Beautiful. Then we're going to do the same thing on the inside of our card. So we're going to open this up, and we're going to put the same accent on the inside of our cards. It's really disappointing to get a card in the mail, open it up, and there's nothing on the inside. Because no matter how beautiful the card is on the outside, what is something that we do? We open it up. And so it's always nice to carry a little bit of theme from the outside of your card to the inside of your card. So let me go ahead and we'll finish this one up real quick. The reason I make 2 cards, for those of you that are wondering, is I do 2 giveaways with these Facebook Lives. And the way you get into the drawing, which will be to give away the Feels Like Frost half pack of Designer Series paper to each winner. To get into the drawing, just tell me where you're watching from, maybe how you found my Facebook page or something like that. Or you can share this on your timeline and then just let people know that you, or just let me know, I guess, that you have shared, and then you'll be in the drawing that I do on Tuesday. So you have plenty of time to get into the drawing. Now we're going to ink up Thinking of You, or you could put any sentiment down here that you want, but we're just going to put it right here. Again, whenever you're stamping on cardstock that's not Whisper White or Very Vanilla, give it a little time to soak in so that you have a really nice, good image. Don't be too fast. I think sometimes as stampers we just get in a big hurry, and that's when we start making mistakes or the ink doesn't come out like we want it to come out. So that's all the stamping we're doing for this card, and we've got it all done. All right. The bundle, oh wait, let me see. Nope, before I talk about the dies, got a couple other things we need to do here. So you might wonder why I'm not giving away ribbon. Because typically I give away something that's on the card. So if you'll notice, we've got the wonderful gems on the card and I've got the ribbon on the card. I had to resort to giving away a pack of Designer Series paper because oddly enough, I don't even have a full pack of gems to divide up and give away, nor do I have a full pack of, nor do I even have 4 yards of ribbon that I can spare to do as a giveaway. Because usually when I do ribbon, I do 2 yards for each person. I'm just not one of those demonstrators that carries a huge amount of extras. And so I am always needing to place orders because I'm constantly running out. I should really probably keep 2 packs of all the embellishments, but I don't. Just one of those things. I have a pretty good inventory system, and so I don't often completely run out, but sometimes I don't have a lot extra to do as giveaways. All right, so here we have some 1 by 4 1/4 inch Night of Navy paper. This is, again, 1 by 4 1/4. And what you're going to do is, I had to actually go to my scrap jar and pull out these ribbons. That's how kind of desperate I was. So here we go. So we're just going to wrap this around on one side. I'll use my Scotch tape to keep that secure. Now you can also, you don't have to use Scotch tape. Goodness, if you have another method of securing ribbon that you prefer, I know some people use glue dots or they use Stampin' Seal. That's great. Go ahead and do that. I've been using Scotch tape to wrap ribbons, oh my goodness, since I first started stamping in 2000, and I've just never quite gotten out of the habit. So go ahead, wrap that ribbon around on this side. And we'll get that secured, and then we're going to do the same thing on this one, and then we're going to adhere these panels to our card. And then to adhere the panels, I am going to use some multi-purpose liquid glue. So here's the cards. Got the glue handy, and then I'm just going to flip these over, and we're going to add some glue to the back. Ooh, that came out pretty good. The last time I did a Facebook Live, do you think I could get the glue out? I was struggling the whole time. Today, it's a flowing. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're just going to put this down, oh, maybe a little bit over halfway up from the bottom. So get that pressed in. Give it a little time to dry. Oh, Lynn is telling me that she thinks DSP is a great giveaway. I am so happy you agree. Wonderful. And I am happy to give it away. Half pack of DSP is lots of fun, especially because it coordinates with this stamp set. There's so many pine features in the Feels Like Frost Designer Series paper. So it's going to look great with this bundle. All right, so there we go. We have the base of our card ready to go. We have the inside done. Now let's move on to the next section here that we're going to do. I have to get it all out. All right. All right, so what do we got here? So you'll notice that our original card has a layer of very vanilla all the way around on the outside. So we're gonna look at that first. Let me get my Stampin' mat in here so you can see it. So this particular panel is 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. The reason I use those numbers is I was looking to get a very skinny border. I think a very skinny border is pretty sharp looking, so that's why you have these kind of weird numbers. So it's 2 7/8 by 3 7/8. Then the next layer that goes on here that we can just go ahead and glue in place is a layer of Mossy Meadow. This is 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. We're going to flip this over. I'm going to grab the glue and just do a little rectangle all the way around. The less glue you use, the more quickly it will adhere into place. But even with the small amount of glue, you usually do have a little chance to wiggle it into place. There's just that little bit of wiggle room. So there we go. And there you can see that nice little skinny, very vanilla border that we have. The next thing that you're going to need are 2 rectangles of Night of Navy paper. These have been cut at 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then you want to run it through your Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine or any die cutting machine that you might have or embossing machine that you might have. And you're going to use a new embossing folder from Stampin' Up! Called Winter Snow. So I actually put both panels in just like this and ran it through, and when it comes out, it looks like this. And I'm not sure that this is really going to show up, but it's really quite beautiful in person and makes a gorgeous backdrop. And so this is going to go here, but we're not going to put it here yet because we're going to build a little scene on here, and then we will set it in place. So to build our scene, I have to get some more supplies out. You will need some scrap gold foil. So whatever gold foil pieces you have, you just need some scrap pieces. And the first thing I did, let me show you. So we have something that's part of this bundle called the Pine Woods Dies. And I just want to point out that the cutting edge of these hills and slopes is at the top, and then this edge does not cut. So if you cut your paper properly, and the properly cut paper would be, I mean, you can use scrap paper, which is what I did, but if you cut it like this, like, I don't know, how big is this? So this is about 1 inch wide. It's 1 inch wide by about 5.5 inches long. See? And then if you take your die and put it right over that top of that 1 inch piece, and then you run it through your machine and you pull it away, you actually end up with 2 hills, which is really good. This is really time saving because you get 2 cutouts for the price of 1. So kind of nice, right? So I have some of these. I'm just going to use this real thin one. So then what I did is I put some, you'll never see this, but and I'll show you how to do this on my scrap, but I put some self-adhesive backing back here so I would not have to use glue or possibly get my fingers full of adhesive, because honestly, you guys, whenever you're working with foil, it is so easy to get adhesive on the top, and then it's like almost impossible to get off. So using the Stampin' Up! Self-adhesive sheets is like a lifesaver when you're working with foil. All right, so what I'm going to do now is, I'm not going to peel this off yet. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to trim it flush. So then we have this little bottom piece where we're going to be tucking our tree under. So we're going to do the same thing over here. Just going to put that there, flip it over, and cut off that little bit of excess. All right, now let's go ahead and talk about our tree situation here, because we're also going to want to cut out one of these trees. So the tree we're going to cut out is this one right here. So my scrap is actually big enough to fit this, but I could have even went smaller. But I did it a little bit bigger so I could show you. The next step is to take that self-adhesive the self-adhesive sheet that Stampin' Up! Sells, and it's like so important to use with foil. That's all I'm gonna say, so important. So to put it on, you don't actually want to pick it off and put it on because you're gonna get adhesive on your fingers. So what you want to do is you want to start it like this, because the adhesive is going to be back here. It sort of sticks to this backing paper. You're going to want to put it down and pull it away. And then you don't get any adhesive on your fingers. So important when you're working with foil. I can't stress it enough. So there we go. So there's what's left over that can be tossed, and then your adhesive is here. So then, when you actually make your die cutouts, like I've done in advance here, all the adhesive is on here, and you don't have to worry about getting it on the front of your your trees. You don't have to try gluing it and being super careful. I mean, if you are super careful, you can go ahead and do it that way too. So then what you want to do is pull away that adhesive, because there's a little backing sheet. So you see how I'm doing this, right? Oh, you know what I could do? I could put this down here so you can see better. That helps, right? So pull it away like this. Because I did it in 2 sections, so there's the first section I'm pulling away. Then I'm going to grab the second section, if I can grab it here. All right, so here's the second section coming away. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. I've got this, and so I know I need my tree to come at least a little bit under that. So I didn't put this down yet. So I'm going to just leave that here. I kind of figure out where I want my tree. And I'm basing it on that little hill. Then you just press it into place. Then you can take the adhesive off the little hill. Well, that's the thought anyway. It's not wanting to come up. There we go. Yes, it's like invisible. I know you can't even begin to see what I'm doing, but trust me, it's here. Okay, there we go. All right, then you're just going to set this in. I gotta go back to where I can see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm going to flip it over, burnish it from the back, get everything on there really good. And there it is. Isn't that pretty? All right, so now we're going to do the same thing over here. Let's bring this back in. It's really hard to see where the adhesive starts and ends, but a lot of times what I do is I just kind of work from a corner, or just find a little place where it's loose, and then I can pull it up. So there's one side. See if I can do this any quicker than what I did before. Not really. It's just one of those fussy things. You know what? I think if I use my take your pick tool, I'll have a little better luck. So then I can just slide this in. Of course, I really almost don't want to do that, because if you do that, you can leave little pick pieces on the front. So I don't think I'm going to do that. That was a bad idea. For those of you listening, don't do that. Not with foil anyway. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and put this in. So again, you're going to set this in about like so. There it is. Then we'll take this one and we will pull away the adhesive. Oh, this one's coming up a lot quicker. Then we're going to add this right here. Okay, I have to move this dark panel again. Go over here. There it is. Then burnish it down from the back. And then we are going to glue this flat. So flip them over, grab your glue again, and you're just going to glue all the way around. For those of you that are wondering, every time I do a Facebook Live, pretty much, I do a free PDF for you. Did you know that? It's a free PDF that you'll find on my blog, stampingtoshare.com. In almost every post, I mean, with the exception of my card kit, when I advertise my card kit, I'm not going to share the PDF in there because that's part of the card kit. Here we go. So if you want the measurements for this and a picture and all of the details, you know, check out my blog next week. I'll have it up next week. I'm not going to do it this week. But about 3, 4, 5, 6 days, usually within a week, I'll have it posted on my blog. And you can just grab those free PDFs. My customers love them. But I know not all of you are my customers, so you may not know about it. All right. And it's for you. It's for you. I do it for you. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to flip these over and we're going to add dimensionals. And I'm just going to add them at the top. And then I'll add them at the bottom. And then I don't want to go really right here because I don't want it to interfere with the ribbons. So I'm going to set another couple of dimensionals just towards the bottom because I want to keep that section where the ribbon would be open. And so many of you ask me, what in the world are you doing, Kay? You're not taking the peelies off. Well, it's because I do the peelies all at one time with packing tape, and then I store them on a couple of silicone sheets that have been cut down. I get questions on that all the time. But it just makes it so much faster for a Facebook Live, so that's why I do it. All right, then just go ahead and wherever you think it looks good, just drop it in. So that looks pretty good. And here's the other one. Drop this one in. And then we need to add our finishing touches. So the finishing touches is something called the Wonderful Gems. And we're going to use all these little gold ones. So I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool because this is where having a Take Your Pick tool comes in super handy. So there's a couple of different sizes here. So we have a smaller size and a bigger size. So I'm going to take a bigger size. Whoops, forgot to take the lid off. Take your lid off, and then it's much easier to grab your gems. I'm going to throw one up here and one here, and they show up just gorgeous. I have to hold it really close. See all that little sparkle in those wonderful gems? Shows up just gorgeous on the Night of Navy. It's a real great spot for those gems. Then take a little bit smaller one and you're going to drop that in over here. Whoops, that one so funny. Like the second I put it down, I knew that's not where it needed to go. It needs to go a little lower. When you've been doing stuff as long as I have, you just know where it needs to go. All right, then we're going to grab another little gem and we're going to put it right here to accent the sentiment. And that's all we need. 3 gems on the front of this card. And there we go. We have them done. We did it. Thank you, you guys. You were very patient because I know this was a little bit fussier than what you're normally used to me doing. Oh, goodness, I'm all butterfingers here. But I have to add in the envelopes because I don't stamp them every time, but I should. And since I did today, I'm going to throw them into the final picture here. So thanks, everybody. It was so nice to have you here. I truly appreciate you. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you are one of my customers, you're welcome to send me a note and let me know if you want to get the card kit to go. Or if you're thinking about it, just send me a note. I'll answer any questions you have. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.